Okay. So we are live on YouTube and okay. So 2 more minutes, Tatyana.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's wait. Oh, sorry. Okay. YouTube is a little bit late in streaming. Yes. Okay.
It's a common thing.
Okay. Okay. I'm just going to start, Tatyana. I'll give a little bit information and then you will start, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yes. I hope you see my screen right.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So every time, let me begin. Okay. In my meetup session, I'm giving a little bit information about our lovely city of winds, Baku. It's inner city, right? Sorry, let me admit. Okay. And is called in Azerbaijanian like Içerişehir, old city you can call it. And this part of Baku has been included in the UNESCO's heritage list. And here, Tatyana, you should remember, this is the part of Diamond Arm film, which has been shot in 1968.
Yes, sure.
It's one of the most successful comedian films in former Soviet Union, and on this street the film has been shot. I mean, and there's a restaurant called Chort Baberi. It's in Russia, and people can have rest on this on this restaurant. So this is one of the most beautiful places of Baku. So when you are in Baku, please visit this part of Baku, and you will enjoy it. And then, sorry. Okay, if you would like to get information, you can get this information just typing these websites on any web browser, and you will get the necessary information regarding this part of Baku. Today's speaker is Tatyana Iostman from Microsoft Russia. She will be talking about solving specific interesting problems in Power BI. I hope she will give the necessary information about herself in next minutes. And as for our next speaker, he is from USA, Excel MVP, Ose du Soleil, who will be talking about Camtasia, and also we'll have victory, and 3 winners will get the free tickets for different courses and different ads-in. So thank you for your attendance and enjoy the session, and see you on May 26th, 2021. Now, Tatyana, stage is yours.
Thank you very much.
Start, okay. Sorry, let me pause sharing. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ilgar, for this opportunity.
Okay.
Hello, colleagues. I'm happy to be here. I'm Tatyana Iostman. I'm from Moscow, but I'm working for Microsoft part called CEE, Central and Eastern Europe. And Azerbaijan particularly is a part of this Microsoft territory, Central and Eastern Europe. And my main topic for last 2 years is modern workplace. So I'm a modern place specialist responsible for CE. I'm working with a lot of countries, with a lot of enterprises from different industries. And I used to be a Microsoft certified trainer from 2007. I used to work in a center, learning center specialist attached to Bauman University. And for a very long time, I used to think that uh, Excel is the best tool in the world forever. I used to work with Excel for spreadsheets, particularly for about 30 years. I worked with SuperCalc, I worked with Quattro Pro, then I worked with all versions of Excel, and the only thing which I felt lack of was visualization. And then my focus was changed to project management tools, particularly to Microsoft Project. And again, the same problem. It's a great tool, but with a lack of visualization. And when Power BI appeared, I was happy because now I can cover almost all needs in analysis and visual data analysis and visualization for almost all tools which people use in their daily work, in their modern work with Power BI. So today I don't want to discuss very complex problems. I'd like to discuss with you some maybe common cases which could be solved very easily by using Power BI desktop, and which could um, solve solve problems which are common and which are specific for many situations. Let me share my screen now, and I will start from a very simple and a very common situation. My customer has a lot of reports made in Excel, and they look like this one in the screen. And people from my customer are responsible for advertisement sales. And every month they put their reports, Excel reports, to some folder, and some of them are delaying their reports, some of them sending them on time, and a person responsible for this report sometimes is waiting for a long time when all the people will put their files to the folder, and then this person will start making report. When we got folders like data sources for Power BI, we solved this problem of gathering files and creating reports on the basis of these files put to folder very easily for a lot of people. Let's have a look how we solved this problem. So I'm in Power BI and I'm trying to get data from a special data source called folder. So I'm waiting for a list of my data sources and clicking folder from here. and clicking connect. Let me remind you that we don't know how many files there will be in the folder. We know just that the files have like the same structure. I'm clicking connect. And as usually, when I've chosen a data source, I should define the path to this source. I will click Browse button and will look for my folder from my computer. I've called it folder. It's here. And in my folder, there are 3 reports with the same structure, 3 Excel files at the moment. I'm clicking OK. And then Navigator will show me these files from the folder. And now it's a tricky button which I should click. I wanna combine data from these 3 files, and also I wanted to transform them. Why I'm clicking this button? Because I'm not sure that the data source is clean, is without errors, is well formatted, etc. So that's why I'm clicking combine and transform data. And then Power Query is opening. But before, Navigator asks me for sample. What is data in my files? Could I define this sample? It looks like AI Builder. If you are familiar with our Power Platform tools, it looks like AI Builder. So we just wanted to define what exactly part of data we wanted to collect from all our files and then wanted to transform. I'm looking for file, maybe first file, maybe specific file from my folder to define the source. It should be always on the sheet number 1. Sorry for Russian here. This word is exactly sheet 1. Then I see that I was right when decided to transform data first, because there is a lot of null columns and rows. It happens when people sometimes forget to clean formatting in our Excel sources. So yes, it should be a sample of my source, and then I will click OK. So I'm getting data in Power Query. Let me check. Yes, it's opened. And as you see, we got very interesting case because Power Query created a function based on our folder where each file would be a parameter of this function. So if to make a parallel, for example, with VBA, Visual Basic, so there you are using a cycle loop, which is called for each, for example, sheet, or for each file and folder, etc. So here Power BI created a function created a parameter for this function, and already merged data from our folder. If you'd have a look on the first column of this query, you will get that here is a name of file. We do have 3 files there, and we got data from all these 3 files. So now I'm getting to transform this data, because first of all I wanted to leave only name of a person without file extension. What is my action here? I will just split column. I will just split column by delimiter. Power BI is correct here because the right symbol was chosen, and I'm clicking OK and getting 2 columns instead of 1. I will delete the second column, remove it, and will rename the first one to name. And the last thing I wanted to do to transform this data source is removing nulls. The easiest way is to unfilter this data in empty cells and to remove empty columns, for example, by clicking remove columns or choose columns. I'm unchecking these boxes, and yes, now data is okay to be used in my report. So clicking close and apply, and data from my folder now is in on my canvas in my Power BI desktop. Let's check which fields I got here. We may switch to data view. Yes, everything is here. And let's create some report. First of all, I will put a slicer with my employee names. How to make it more visual? Clicking on the Format tab, then opening General section and choosing horizontal orientation. Now it looks better. Then let's put, for example, some pie regarding types of advertisement and money we got for each type. Now it works. Probably you know how to add visuals, how to format them, etc. Let's check that this report works for our 3 employees, but one additional person whose name is George delayed his report, and now I wanted to put this report to my folder as well. Let's check. Now George's file is here as well. Let's go back to our report. And now I'm just clicking refresh button. to get George's data to our report. I'm sorry. I forgot to remove that. No magic now. I forgot to remove all columns because in George's files it was the column number 8. Sorry. Just a second. Let's be more interactive. If you could help me, let's do that, please. Name, type of advertisement, company, and cost. Okay. Let's check with George file. Colleagues, does somebody use this feature connecting to? It's the same, it looks the same. Does anybody use this feature linking to folders already? Do you have such cases in your practice?
Yes, we do.
Great.
You can try to go back to the query and just check, in the advanced setting, you can just change the sample find.
So I'm going to Power Query, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Maybe we can just go back to some steps. Source step. Try to refresh it over there. So you can take the latest preview.
Yes, it's here. The function is here.
Perfect. We have problem with George. So George has some empty columns. So on your data set, maybe your the George file which is there, it is having some empty spaces. So that's the reason it's picking up.
Empty columns. You mean column number 8?
You can just select the George file and clear the content, the empty content.
You mean from folder or from here?
From folder, if you try to do it, then you need to go to the sample, I believe. No. Yeah, sample, you can just select the sample, go to the source one. Yeah, sample file. Maybe the sample file, which is there.
Yes, sample file.
You can go to the source. I can refresh it here.
Yes, it's here.
Okay. That's so good. You can just remove the last step.
Open it.
The imported Excel, the last step.
Last step, yeah.
You can remove it.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go to the transform sample file.
Repeat, please.
Transform sample file.
To open it.
No. If you open it, it will break it. There is another file which is transform sample.
Hello.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So here we need to fix that, George. Maybe.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Here you can
Only
remove the
this one,
nulls.
you mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm. Okay.
Let's go to the folder.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the error. You can remove the change type from here.
Mm-hmm. Hope that is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's check.
Welcome. Because I ran into this error many times. I have an Excel file.
It's my first time when it
No, you have an Excel file.
again. What happens? So typing host, not here. Ah, yes, we got him. It's really the first time, but I know that it happens when you do not rehearse because you are sure that it will work.
When you're using Excel file, I have a lot of experience with that. If you have empty spaces in your
Yeah.
column, though they don't show you, you will bump into error like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very hard to identify it. I agree with you, and it's very difficult to identify it.
Yeah. Mostly I use Power BI when my people from my customers wanted to do something very like crazy stuff. So we do have this case. Let's do great report based on this folder or on this. And almost always we are troubleshooting. And the second thing which happens a lot of times is choosing the right visualization, because people sometimes just draw on a paper. I wanted to get the same look, yes, and we do not have appropriate visuals, etc. So guys, I hope maybe colleague, you are familiar with some PDF data merge. Have you worked with merging data from PDFs, not Excel files?
Yes, I have worked.
And what could you advise here for people, for our attendees? What to pay attention to?
If I'm not mistaken, a PDF file must be in a specific format. Not every PDF file can be subject to transformation. And so that's the first point. And each page on PDF file is, if you import PDF file into Power Query, and it's not, let's say, it's not accepted as a one page. It's accepted every page is accepted like a different, let's say, page. I mean, if you have PDF file which is consisted of 16 pages, so it means that you will have 16 files.
16 records in your
yes,
exactly.
And it means that you will at the end you will append or merge. I think you will append all the files after transformation. Actually, I don't use very much, but sometimes I use. So not every PDF is subject to let's say, transformation.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
specific was, yes.
But what about AI Builder? Are you familiar with AI Builder tool in our Power Platform?
I have attended session which has been organized by Toronto Excel Group, but I'm not much familiar.
Because it looks magic, to be honest. When first you are preparing data source based on PDF files, like do machine learning, showing a program where are the fields you need, then doing it on several files, and then building a table, maybe in Excel, maybe in SharePoint list, based on data of these PDFs, and then already you build a report in Power BI.
Okay.
So it may be a solution. Sorry, colleagues, let's move further. Regarding artificial intelligence in Power BI, I would mention one more thing, which is building columns in Power Query based on samples. Let me get data from one more Excel. And to show you how it works. Of course, we may use different formulas in using DAX, for example, to transform data. But sometimes it's easier, especially if you are not very experienced with formulas, to show a sample to Power Query, and it will build formula itself. So for this data, I want to first to create a new column, which will be based on manager column, and it will start from the first letter of first name, then dot, then space, and then surname. So I wanted to transform my data source before importing it to Power BI. In Power Query editor. So sometimes I do have two columns, for example, with first name and with surname. Maybe I do have several very complicated columns, and I wanted to get data from that. You may be familiar with the similar feature in Excel, but now it looks impressive as well. So I wanted to build a new column based on manager column in Power Query. I'm clicking Add Column tab, then click column from examples. From selection, I mean from selected column. If I do have two columns with data I wanted to merge, etc., I will select several. So I will create a new column from selection, and then I will click to a new column. Let me show you manager column. I will click in the first row and will type the sample what I wanted to get. M dot space Sampton. In the second row, F dot, similar feature in Excel, I'm sure. So F dot Sinatra. Look, almost okay, but not, because in the fourth row we see that by using this formula, Power Query was not correct with our data. So I'm clicking in the row number 4 and will correct this row as well, clicking enter, and getting the result I need. And look what is the formula built in M language by Power Query here based on our sample. I'm clicking OK. Then if it's needed, renaming column and getting data I need. So please keep it in mind when you exactly know what do you want to get in the column, but not sure how to write formula both in M and in DAX. And here we got this formula for the column. Okay, so it's, as I mentioned, one more example of artificial intelligence in Power Query. Let's switch to another more interesting and complicated set of reports. This set of reports is sharing for free through GitHub and is designed for project online for PPM tool, project and portfolio management tool. And this set of reports can be connected to your specifically project online website and get data from there. And this is ready to use a set of reports. But if you are sharing it through GitHub and letting all the project online users to connect this set of reports to their data, how we provide this like universal approach, how people will choose, will put the URL address of their project online to this report set. It was done, it was solved by using parameters. So you know that for each reports, we can set up parameters which can be used in formulas during column buildings, etc. And from here, I can click transform data, edit parameters, and we'll see that here our users just should put the URL of their project online website and choose a language, because we got that project online has preliminary setup. And if this website preliminarily was set up using some language different from English, it could bring errors when getting data, because some custom fields in our project online database already are renamed by using that specific language. And our great project MVP, Ben Hoffman from Great Britain, he created additional parameter for this set of reports for a language. And then when getting data in queries, he put some column renaming to get data without errors. Later, when I will share this file with you, you'd be able to have a look on how it looks like, and it helps a lot. And when you really wanted to build different reports for different websites, different departments, different currencies, etc., it may be, it's probably a good way to use parameters to rebuild reports very easily. As you know, in Power BI, we also can change data sources themselves. For example, in previous example, with folders, when our employees will send reports for the next month, for example, we'd be able just to change a data source to make to another folder, to a new folder, to make this report actual. Let's have a look on the first page of this report. When I am clicking some for example, some part of my chart, or I'm clicking on some project, you see that in cards, all the data is changing. Yes, so I see that now this card is displaying one project, for example. Let me know, please, what to do if I wanted to remain with 61 projects here forever. So I don't want this card to be changed when some interactive actions are being done. So now for this card, as you see here, it was the field project ID was chosen. What solution would you propose if your customer wants to remain this number for all interactions? What is the easiest way? How do you think?
Excuse me, will you repeat the question, please?
Okay.
Okay.
So at the moment, this card is its behavior is changing always and displaying the number of projects selected. For example, if I will select this phase on a chart, I will see 9 projects. My customer wants to have 61 projects always. The total number.
I think, yes, I got the question. Sorry for interrupting you. I think it can be organized by edit interactions, right? Or
yeah, sure.
yes, yes, we can do it there. Yeah.
Yeah. And the second option is creating a measure. Yes, for example, with calculate function with filter all. Yes.
Right.
Okay, so guys, we really can do magic when we are playing with interactions between our visualizations, and the second option to play with ducks. And please keep in mind that calculate function can work with different filters, including all, which will remain the same data despite any filters being applied on other visualizations. Okay, this second question and the second problem, which was declared by my customers. Tanya, I wanted to keep the same slicers on different pages of my report. So I wanted to be able to choose department or governance phase or project owner on different pages of my report. Do I really need, customer asked, to repeat all these slicers for all the pages manually? Of course not. Please, if you are not familiar, pay attention to this very nice and powerful button on a view tab called Sync Slicers. When you are clicking some slicer and clicking Sync Slicers, from this window you'd be able to define where to add the same slicer on which pages, and maybe more important thing, where to sync it. If my manager who working with this report will decide to look at some department's projects and will choose this department on a particular page, in this case, if we will sync this slicer with other pages, he will be able to look the picture for this particular department on all synchronized pages. The next thing I wanted to pay your attention to is these pictures, these icons being used for reg indicators. What is the practice of using of different icons instead of some numbers or instead of some data, specific data? What ways are you familiar with? Maybe you know about conditional formatting, yes?
Exactly.
But here is not conditional formatting. Here are real icons, real PNG pictures. How we are managing to get some specific icons, specific pictures to, for example, to a matrix or to a table column. The way is to put them, these pictures, somewhere in the web folder, for example, in a SharePoint library, and then to put links to your columns, like here, for example. Let's check this cost health column, or schedule health, or cost health. Let's check them, and let's check the DAX expression from this field. So here are URLs, where are pictures. It's a standard images library for project websites, but you see that you could put here any URL, and if the value is less than or equal to or at least over, etc., or between, you may use, by using if construction, you may use different pictures and put them to some column. And then when you are defining this column, let me show it. When you are defining this column category, data category, like image URL, you'd be able to get the result we needed. So again, I will share this file with you, and you'd be able to check everything through this file. So the next interesting problem which was raised by my customers here is regarding timeline. You know that this visualization, it's not from the standard set. It should be should be got from a source. But the question is that in a lot of cases, this visualization does not want to work because we do not have consistent dates in our data source. It happens always when my customers are asking why I wanted to use this nice visualization in my report and it does not work, and asks me for some consistent dates in my data source. Please pay attention to two table functions, DAX table functions, which are called calendar and calendar auto. So if you are getting this mistake, this error, it's a good option to create a calendar with consistent dates based on the dates of your data model, of your data set. It could be created automatically from the first date mentioned in your data set till the last date, or it could be built on a time frame you could set yourself by using calendar function. So let me remind you that you are clicking from a data view, you are clicking new table button, and from here you are using nor calendar or calendar auto functions. So the first one is calendar auto, and this function will create a table from the first date mentioned in your, of course it would be better to change format immediately, till to the last date mentioned in your data set, and then to make it possible to use right data, right table with dates in your data set, you just need to create a relationship between your table with non-consistent dates with this new table. And the second function which is useful here is a calendar function, which will create a set of dates only between two dates you will mention here. So calendar function from, for example, the 1st of January till the end of December. Oh, sorry. Again, format because I used Russian one. Need your help here?
Can you try slash instead of dot?
Yeah, I see. Okay, thank you. Let's check. Because I switched from Russian language to English just before this session. Separators. Yes, thank you. So, and don't forget to set up relationships between your table with non-consistent dates with this one, and then you'd be able to choose these dates like a value for your visual with some timelines. We do have a lot of visuals for timelines, and most of them working with consistent dates. Please pay attention to this. So the next thing I wanted to mention is the drill through thing. When I do have some reports on a set of entities, for example, on projects with project names, and I do have a lot of additional detailed information on each project. For example, I do have a special page, project status, and this page can provide details regarding a particular project. How we can make a detailed report based on this page for example, projects. Of course, it's a big page. Mostly when we are using this page like a tooltip, it should be smaller, yes? But I just wanted to show you how it should work. I've prepared a page which should be a tooltip. Then I'm clicking a Format tab, and from a page information section, we'll choose Tooltip, toggle Tooltip on. This page is for tooltips. And then I even can set up page size for tooltips. Not now because the page is big. So this page will work like a tooltip now. And from a main page, I've toggled keep all filters on. And then let's have a look how it will work. So I'm on a portfolio dashboard page, and I wanted to get details on some project. I will click on this. I just focus on this project, yes. Not because I did not define my page like a tooltip for this particular visual. So I am clicking this visualization with table of projects, and from a format tab of this visualization, I will toggle tooltip and will set it up. The tooltip will be a report page. Which page? Maybe I do have several tooltip pages. I will use that project status page, and let's have a look now. Yes, it works. So when I am on a particular project, I am getting a tooltip page on this particular project. I will focus my pointer on another project and we'll get it tooltips as well. So the first option to get details on some specific row of a table or of a matrix or maybe some part of chart, etc., is to create a additional page, define it as a tooltip page. Then click a visualization which should use this page like a tooltip and define this tooltip on a format tab. The second option to get details is to define our project status page as a not as a tooltip, but as a detailed page for some other pages where some field is specifically placed. For example, I wanted to get this project status page like a detailization on a project name field. So let's take a project name field from our projects table, and being on this page, I will drag these tooltip fields here. Project name. Let's have a look how it works. From a portfolio dashboard, I will remove that tooltip first from my visualization because it will disturb me. So now when I'm right clicking, so just a second, again, project status. Now it's not a tooltip page. It's just a page, maybe hidden page, no problem. And then, yes, field is here. Let's check. Now it works. So anywhere when we do have project name field and right clicking on a project name, we will get drill through and we'll get a list of all pages which could be detail pages for this field. For example, we maybe have not only project status, but for example, project stakeholders, for example, project communications plan, etc., etc. And by clicking that project, by clicking that drill through page, we would be able for this particular project, which we're right clicking on, get this detailed page. So it was regarding drilling through and creating specific pages. What else I wanted to show you today? Maybe you do have questions on this topic, because it's a hot topic and a lot of my customers are asking how to get more details on some specific.
Tatyana, I have a question. Is there an opportunity to set font size by default on visualization pane, page?
You mean on a page itself, or you mean on a visual?
On visual part. For example, when you make a visual chart or something like this, for example, table, always font size is smaller, right? So I would like to make it bigger.
You wanted to get default, yes?
Yes.
I never met some default stuff, only through templates. Only through templates, predefined templates, yes.
Okay.
We are waiting for that as well.
Yes.
Because it takes a lot of time, almost, and always when you use matrix, for example, yes, with a different amount of columns, you meet the same problem because font size is changing, etc., and you cannot define some default settings. What about this one? Do you like this picture, colleagues?
It's also regarding.
It's conditional formatting.
Formatting, yes.
Yeah, and it's great solution because it's a heat map. And we do not have a heat map like a visualization, yes, in the list of visualization. But our managers wanted to see some workloads, some capacities, availabilities, etc., in a heat map. And it's a very good solution and very easy to implement solution, building this heat map by using conditional formatting. So in this case, for this visual, let's have a look. Conditional formatting based on background was set up just in this way. So which field should be used like a basis, where to apply only to values, and you are setting these 3 like points: minimum, center, and maximum. Very nice solution as well.
Great.
So guys, I'm planning to share this file with you, and you'd be able to check everything, and I will share credentials with you from my demo environment, or with login and password to this particular report, and you'd be able to check everything, because here are very interesting solutions regarding KPIs. For example, I love this visualization, non-usual. And these cards are not like not usual cards, these ones, because they show data in different colors, different font colors. So these timelines from here, then from risks matrix, interesting solution as well. And I'd be happy to meet with you again, because I really interested in some specific topics being discussed, and I'd be happy to propose via Ilgar some topics to discuss with you, because I'm fully sure that Power BI is our future, and I really understand that only with community we'd be able to get more tips and tricks and be more efficient by using this tool.
Power BI is number one.
Yeah.
Business intelligence tool. Yeah. And so I think we came to the end of our session. So thank you for your wonderful session. Thank you for sharing your knowledge or experience with us. And some of attendants joined a little bit later, so I would like to introduce you once again. Tatyana Iostman is working in Microsoft Russia.
Microsoft Central and Eastern Europe, sorry.
Sorry. I introduce in a required way. So if anybody has a question regarding Power BI, so please ask. If not, or you are thinking about your question, let me ask one question. Tatyana, I'm always asking this question to everybody. What's the best way to avoid using of many-to-many relationship? I don't like many-to-many relationship. What's the best way to avoid?
You mean example, or you mean?
When you are building a relationship between, let's say, dimensions, for example, fact tables or other tables, for example, I don't want to use many-to-many. You know, I'm just preferring using one-to-many or many-to-many.
I don't like this type of relationships, and mostly I prefer to set up some interim table.
So what's the best way? Did you set that? What are you doing? You just making other tables?
To use interim tables.
Interim tables, yes.
Yes.
Okay. And one more question. When I was taking this advanced Power BI course a year ago at Laba, Ukraine platform, there was let's say one method of using map, for example, by administrative regions. For example, now does Power BI have these kinds of map? I mean,
yes,
you
yes, sure.
point,
you mean region map,
yes,
maps with
maps,
regions? Yes, we do have this visual. Now it's in a standard set field map. It's called field map.
Field map.
Field map, yes.
Okay. So I think there's no question. So I will look forward getting this file from you, Tatyana.
Yeah, sure.
And in next 2 days, I will share it. If anybody wants, you may turn on your cameras and you may ask. We can make chatting with each other, no problem.
Thank you very much for your feedbacks, guys. And as I said, I'd be happy to proceed with discussions because it's very useful to be in touch with people who are really interested in a project.
Tatyana, by the way, Faraz Shei, he is from Saudi Arabia. He has also Saudi Arabia meetup group. I don't know he hears us or not. And Christian Engel, he's from Romania. He has also Romanian meetup group, Power BI, Multi-Excel user meetup group. So they also invite people from.
Nice to meet you, colleagues.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. We have. Okay, I'm very happy for us that you are here. We have Ahmet Han from Azerbaijan. He's also dealing with Excel guy from Azerbaijan.
Great.
Aydin Aliyev, he's the first Excel MVP. You know, you have to know him, not? Aydin Aliyev, he's Excel MVP.
Great.
Okay.
I know Nikolai Pavlov very well, and I'm sure you all know him. He is a friend of mine, and we worked together for almost 20 years.
Yes, we know Nikolai Pavlov. He has Planeta Excel, if I'm not mistaken, channel.
Exactly.
And he has a great adzine, if I'm not mistaken.
And he's MVP as well.
MVP, yes, I know. There are a lot of people, MVPs from Russia. Yes. Accelerate Benas. So I think it's time to say goodbye. Thank you once again, Tatyana. I hope we'll see each other in next time, next months. So
thank you, colleagues.
Okay.
Thank you for your attention and for your patience.
So it was interesting to talk about tips and tricks in Power BI. So thank you once again for sharing your skills and knowledge. So it's time to say bye.
Thank
See
you
you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.